to Miles to Go, Missouri. We're in Missouri today and we're taking a special look at toasted ravioli, which is a specialty that you'll find as you travel along Route 66 and you find yourself in Missouri. What the difference between toasted ravioli is it's not typically boiled like you would serve it wet, right? Typically if you eat ravioli, you're boiling it. Well, today we're going to fry it. You can either toast it in the oven or fry it, but we've decided today that we're gonna do a little bit of frying. And what I prepared is a sheet pan of cheese ravioli that's thawed out. So I put my ravioli on the sheet pan. I bought them in the freezer section. They're filled with cheese. I've got 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of milk, and I'm gonna dip my ravioli into the egg mixture and then right into the breadcrumbs that I have prepared and ready to go here. And I chose an Italian style breadcrumb just because I like the extra seasoning. So I'm gonna continue to do this with one ravioli after another until I've got them all breaded and ready to go. And then we're gonna deep fry these ravioli. Now this is a specialty you would find in Missouri in the hill section of Missouri, along with some different kind of pizza, very different than Chicago, Illinois. We would find in Missouri, we would find a cheese pizza called Proval pizza. And the Proval pizza is a blend of 3 different cheeses on a very, very flat piece of crust, if you will. Completely different than New York style pizza and very different from Illinois pizza. But still an interesting place to check out their cuisine. So give me some time to get these all breaded and ready to go, and then I'll show you a few tips on how to fry them all up so that we can have some toasted ravioli. So we're ready to fry our ravioli. And what I've prepared here is 3 cups of vegetable oil that I like to fry. And vegetable oil is a heart-healthy oil. It's good for you versus something like shortening or something like pig fat. That's not a good fat. Vegetable oil is a good fat. It's considered heart healthy. So what I have here, 3 cups of oil, and I have my my ravioli all breaded and ready to go. So I'm gonna take them with the tongs and I'm gonna put them in. And just like I like to do with meatballs, I like to put them in a clockwise order so that I know which ravioli went in first and which ones went in last. Now, these little guys don't take very long to cook at all. And I have an electric oven. My electric oven is set to like 6.5, which is kind of a medium high heat. And I'm just gonna put all these guys in. I could probably grab more than one at a time. But as the ravioli are thawed, they start to get a little mushy and they tend to stick together. So you wanna keep them as separate as possible. And on my right side, as I take my ravioli off, I have a cooling rack, and the cooling rack is going to allow the oil to drip down through so that they don't absorb all that extra oil. You could also put it on a paper towel, or I actually remember my grandmother she used to fry donuts when I used to go to visit her. She would make homemade donuts, and she would take brown paper bags and just lay the donuts right on there, and the brown paper bags would absorb some of the oil. That's a great way to recycle brown bags if you wish. So I'm gonna put all these guys in just like this. And in the meantime, you should be preparing a little marinara sauce because you're gonna wanna dip these fried ravioli in something, and getting out a little bit of Parmesan cheese to serve them with as well. So if you give us a minute, you will see, thanks to the magic of videotaping, how delicious these fried ravioli are gonna look. So our ravioli are just about finished. We have some here that are already done. They're nice fried, toasted, golden brown. You wanna wait until they get to about this color before you take them out of the frying pan. And the interesting thing is, as you fry, you'll see that they bubble up to the top, they float up to the top, just as if you were boiling them in water. And the reason for that is the pocket inside where the cheese is fills up with air and it floats up to the top. And you might just want to turn them over once so they get that nice golden brown on both sides. And a couple tips about frying. You notice that I have tongs. These tongs are metal, so they will conduct heat. So you want to leave them over to the side when you're not using them, because otherwise the metal tongs will get hot. You could also use a silicone tong and maybe even a longer tong so that your hands aren't as close to the oil. The oil is very, very hot, so be careful before you drain out the oil. Be careful to let it cool. Never pour the oil down the drain. That can clog up your drain and cause a disaster. You want to put it in some sort of container once it's cooled and just throw it out. Another thing, you never want to leave the oil unattended, meaning you don't want to turn this on and then walk away. That's super dangerous to do. You could also use your exhaust fan so the house doesn't smell. I have one here, but if you notice, mine's a commercial one, and when I turn it on, you can't hear me. So typically I turn it on in between shoots. But for right now, we'll leave it off. So you do want to make sure you're frying in a well-ventilated space, or you could even use a deep fryer, which I sometimes use deep fryers in the classroom, and that's a little contained unit that has oil in it, and it fries things at a nice even temperature. But I don't have any at home, so I'm just frying the old-fashioned way, in a pan. But in a pan, in a deep fryer, no matter what, you're still gonna get toasted ravioli that are gonna taste delicious. Don't forget to serve it with a little marinara and some Parmesan cheese off to the side. You'll feel like you're right in Missouri. You won't even know that you're still in New York. So enjoy.